I'm Helena Humphrey. Good to have you with us. Turkey says that significant progress has been made between Ukraine and Russia following a further round of peace talks in Istanbul. Previous negotiations between the two sides failed to make any breakthrough, with the war now into its second month. But Moscow has made what appears to be its first major concession by announcing a reduction of military activity around Kyiv. The Russian delegation says the move is in response to Ukraine taking positive steps towards a non-aligned status.
Taking into account the principles discussed during today's meeting, the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation decided to cut back military activity in the direction of Kyiv and Chernihiv to increase mutual trust and create the necessary conditions for further negotiations and achieving the ultimate goal of agreeing and signing the above agreement.
Well, the Ukrainian delegation says that a draft agreement has been negotiated that would see Kyiv's security guaranteed by neighbouring countries.
This would-be agreement states that if Ukraine is a target of any military aggression or any attack, we will be entitled to hold consultations within 3 days. If consultation fails to bring about the diplomatic resolution of the issue, the guarantor countries should provide us with military assistance, weapons, and we do not rule out the possibility to closing the sky over Ukraine.
Well, monitoring those peace talks in Turkey as well as the situation on the ground in Ukraine is our correspondent, Sasha Vakulina. Sasha, to be frank, I guess to start off with, I think it's fair to say over the past few weeks, peace talks have yielded, well, not much progress. Is that changing now?
Absolutely. The expectations were almost at zero today as well, right? Nobody expected a ceasefire or any kind of peace agreement. It is fair to say that this is the most significant diplomatic moment since the beginning of the invasion in terms of the two sides talking and negotiating. Now, Russia said that now they will drastically reduce combat operations around Kyiv and Chernihiv, as you said. This is interesting because over the past couple of days we have seen Russian troops there in the area in the northern part of Ukraine not being able to gain more territories there. There's been also some heavy fighting happening, and this is where Ukrainian troops also started their counteroffensive. These are the northern northwest areas from Kyiv. Yet to see what's going to happen from the east of Kyiv and also the southern part of Kyiv from that direction. Chernihiv, of course, is another very complicated situation. There's still around there are thousands and thousands of people who are still there. It's over the 100,000 people who are still there. They're trapped, and this is the situation that is rather close to the one in Mariupol of humanitarian catastrophe. People who do not have electricity, they don't have food, they don't have water, and the humanitarian corridors didn't really work well enough for these people to be evacuated. Also, Ukrainian negotiators said that based on today's talks, they believe there was enough material in the current Ukrainian proposals to warrant a meeting between Zelensky and Russia's President Vladimir Putin. As you know, Zelensky has been saying from the very beginning that he is ready to sit down with Putin to negotiate face-to-face. Well, we're now waiting to hear from Moscow, from Vladimir Putin, whether he is ready for that meeting.
So as you say, Sasha, in that holding pattern now, essentially, of waiting at the same time the potential for a reduction of military activity in Kyiv. But as you've also pointed out, that is not the whole story of the whole of the country. You know, thinking, for example, about that significant attack that we saw this morning in Mykolaiv.
Certainly, there was this attack. It happened right before 9 o'clock in the morning, and the building of the regional administration attacked. Now, the timing here is important also because this is the beginning of the day. This is when people just started their workday or were coming to work right before 9 o'clock. And this is documented, and that video is released, and it's verified. And this is what Volodymyr Zelensky had to say about that.
This morning, Russian missiles hit one of our southern cities, Mykolaiv, a shipbuilding city, an absolutely peaceful city, which dreamed of only one thing, to regain its place at the center of shipbuilding in the Black Sea. Following this strike, The regional administration building was destroyed. As far as we know now, 7 people were killed, 22 were wounded, and people are still going through the rubble.
Розбір завалів продовжується.
Mykolaiv is 500,000 people population city on the Black Sea coast. It's a huge city which has been resisting so far and defending itself. It's also a crucial city when it comes to the Russian troops' movement from Kherson region, from the south and region of Kherson. Only via Mykolaiv region they hoped and they tried a few times to get to Odessa. That was their way there. So Mykolaiv itself was attacked today, but this is also the road to Odessa. So when it comes to, there is some reduction as they promised to have it around Kyiv and Chernihiv, but we still have the south, we have the east, and of course we have the southeast with Mariupol.